Hi, everybody. This is Ms. T with Ms. T's Truth coming at you with another video. And this video was inspired by a comment that I left under the video FaceTime Gone Wrong. And I really set off a firestorm with what I commented. People did not appreciate my truth, but it's my truth. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and that was mine. So I'll go into detail as we go further along, but first, I would like all the newcomers to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button before you leave, and feel free to leave a comment, even if you disagree with the content that I have. Just be respectful in the comments. That's all that I ask. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So basically, the video was there was a lady that was FaceTiming with a gentleman. They were going to go out on a date pretty soon, and this was their first date. And the man, and they both were black. The man, now he's the one that invited her out on the date, but the first thing he says is, "Oh, um, I'm gonna need a ride though because," and she's like, "You don't have a car?" And he was about to get into his explanation, and she hung up on him. And a lot of guys were in their feelings about it, in my opinion. Um, so we're going to go over all the commentary of what I said, what different people responded to, and then still bring it all home with the overall message and what we can learn from this. So, one thing that really came across the board from a lot of the gentlemen is that um, how is she just going to hang up in the middle as soon as she hears that he doesn't have a car? Now, the only thing that I do agree with a lot of the gentlemen on is the fact that she hung up in the middle of while he was talking, because that's rude. Treat people how you want to be treated. But I do not disagree with her having the right in and of itself to deem that this guy was not worth her time and cutting it off right then and there. Because what also was very clear to me across the board from a lot of the gentlemen's comments is this element of control. It wasn't said, it was implied, like, how dare you as a woman have the right to like delete any of us. I mean, you should be lucky enough. You kicking it with will, like, one of us is looking at you. And it's like, okay, I know we black women, and I know the statistics about marriage and singleness and all that stuff when it comes to black women. But that still doesn't mean that we do not have the right to be selective. I mean, we do. We still we're not slaves out here. We still have the right to be selective. And like I said, the only thing that I disagree with for the woman was the way that she was selective, her method. But other than that, I mean, she has a right not to want to go out with this dude that don't have a car. I mean, what's wrong with that? Um, they both appear, both the people in the video appear to be well in their 30s. And it's like, that's just the basics, house, a car, different things like that. Even if you don't have the house, the car is like the basics, you know what I mean? And some of the people replied like, well, oh my gosh, you're supposed to be like a build a beer type of atmosphere. And it's like, I don't understand. Okay, so let me just get to the actual comments in and of itself, so that way I'm not doing this from memory, and I'll be clear on what I'm saying. So let me back it up. Okay, so like I said, the overall thing, the common denominator amongst the group with the men was like, it was wrong for the woman to have standards, whatever the standards were. I don't really think the issue was that she hung up on him because he said it was a card. He could have said he had 40 baby mamas, and she hung up on him, and they still would have had an issue the way these men came across. Like, You should still be lucky that we talking to you. And no, women have the right to have standards. Now, I don't know if the issue was that this woman was very pretty and maybe some people felt a certain type of way about, oh, I can't get her anyway. So it's in my face that this type of woman will reject me because of XYZ. But I mean, it is what it is. I cannot be mad if me having a little bit of meat on my bones and I can't get like the top NBA player. You just gotta face reality sometimes, even if you're a man. Like, live life to the full. Don't sit up here and be crying over stuff that you can't get when there's plenty of stuff out here that you can get. So that was just kind of odd to me, you know what I mean? Especially, like I said, again, 30s and up. It's like you should be aware of where you at in life, what level you on, what you can and can't do. I'm talking about as far as like if you make 15,000, you can't can't buy a Bentley usually. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of out of your price range. You can't get that $20 million house. I mean, it's out of your league. That's what I mean. And it's not any badness about that. I mean, it's just the facts. If you make $15,000 a year, I don't care. I'm not talking about savings. I'm just talking about this is what you make. You're living check to check, and then you take yourself to a lender and or the real estate agent and try to get a $20 million house and be upset when they laugh you on up out of there. Like, come on. This is just reality. This is just common sense. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, so bringing it back, women have the right to have standards, but by that same token, men can have standards too. And I even replied that on somebody's comment because one guy said something along the lines of, "Oh, women just want men to overlook they what did he say? There are 5 kids with 6 baby daddies. First of all, the math ain't mathing. And second of all, what I replied to that comment was don't date those women then. Like you have a right. You free people, you're not a slave. If she has stuff off rip that you don't like, then don't talk to her. It's good. You good, she good, everybody good. Like I don't understand what your issue is. But it's almost like I don't know, just arguing just for argument's sake on some parts. I mean, because it made valid sense. Nobody responded to that when I said that. You know what I mean? I said men and women can have standards. I said it applies to both men and women. See, the comments that were coming from the gentleman, all mostly, not all, but for the most part, seem to like applaud and give a pat on the back to in agreement to the men having standards, but frowned upon the women having standards. And it's like, now, why do you think that this only applies to one gender? So someone else commented, and this one has a lot of comments, and this is the one I originally posted under. He said, she saved you a headache, bro. If she can't be there at your worst, then she doesn't deserve your best. And I disagree with that in the context of what we're talking about, which is this video where these people do not know each other. They're going out on their first date. Why does she have to accept his worst off rip? You get one doggone life. We learned, if we didn't learn nothing else for 2020, we should have learned we don't have no time to waste. And nobody got no time for that. 30s and up, and especially women. I did this on, y'all see on my other video, especially women. Women have to be more selective, quicker, because we really don't have time to waste. Um, men have a longer shelf life as far as like they still can procreate, whereas women, I mean, yes, we have advances in technology, but it's a lot of issues that come with having children the older you get. So we do have to keep that in mind, and you have to worry about that more so when you're not taking precautions to be selective and weeding people out from the door. I replied on somebody else's comment that dating is like a job interview, and some people's applications need to be thrown directly in the trash. And I stand by that because it's true. I mean, I really feel like if people treated dating like a job, you will save yourself a world of headache. Because especially, I'm gonna just speak for women because I am a woman. The men that have burnt your grits the most are the ones that didn't work out, but you had all the red flags in the beginning, but you still decided to give this man a chance. That burns you up. Like, dang, I knew I shouldn't have talked to this fool in the first place. He said he did this, he said that, and I knew it. I could have saved myself all this pain, all these tears, but no, I gave him a chance. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. And I don't recommend it. Don't do that. Stop giving these dudes a chance. I tell people all the time, man, he or he did what? He said what? No. And if that causes someone to be single, then so be it. If that causes somebody to miss out, because somebody else said the fact that she hung up, how did she didn't even give him a chance to explain, how did she know, or me know, that he didn't have a car, or he was just working on it, or whatever the case may be. She'll never know because she didn't give him a chance to explain. Well, this is what I say to that. To those opportunities that you miss out on, hey, you win some and you lose some. You ain't gonna win them all, baby. So it's all right. Everybody good. You know what I mean? But I still feel like the majority of the time, you did the right thing. You were wise. You were discerning. You said, he already showing this. Let me get up out of here. And not all the time does it have to do with money. You know what I mean? He could have two different children's mothers. And dealing with a woman in your relationship because the man has kids from his previous relationships. That's a hard one to swallow. And the same thing for the men. I agree. I said if the woman has all these doggone kids and you ain't trying to deal with it, then don't. That's your choice. But what was interesting was a lot of the men was in agreement with that. Like, oh yeah. And this one dude said, hold on, let me see. I can't even see it. But basically, the main part of what he said was that, oh, I hang up on people and women as soon as I find out they got kids. And it was like so many likes and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, so why is it okay for you to hurry up and hang up on in that instance, but it's not okay for her because he don't have a car? Like, just be fair a little bit. You know what I mean? Just keep that same energy for both. You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, nope. It's just only us men get to say when and say. And then here's the other part. Let's keep it a buck. Um, you want to sit up there and basically, like this one, a few of them basically said that I am lonely. Uh, that the dudes that would pass me up They're saving themselves a headache because I've exposed myself and I wouldn't roll with some dude at his worst. And again, that's we talking about in the beginning when it's easier to cut somebody off because you haven't developed or shouldn't have developed those feelings with them, and you just cut them off when it's a lot easier. But From this guy's thinking I'm supposed to stick with him because I need to just stick in there for the long haul. You know what I mean? I've done seen all the stuff I need to see from the beginning, but that are red flags to me. But just let me keep sticking it in there because you need to give a guy a chance. You need to just help him succeed. And no, here go the reality. Men say these things, but a lot of times you can just do your own research. The women that have done this, that have built a bear, that have stuck in there with this dude and watch him rise, not all the time, but a lot of times, that dude, when he get on, he leave her for somebody else. When he get to feeling himself, he like, oh, I'm good now. Oh, I don't need her no more. And you done sat up there, wasted your time, done sat up there and done spent, I don't know, 5 years is still a long time. 5, 10, 15 years on this dude, and he dip as soon as he get his stuff together. No, absolutely not. Not on my watch. No way. No, ma'am. No, sir. And the other part of the story that gets me is these brothers, these black men, want to sit up here and act like it's wrong for you as a black woman to have standards. You need to just sit up there with this dude and take all this and take all that. But that same brother ain't about to do none of that for you. Let's keep it real. It's 2021. A lot of black dudes ain't even checking for black girls, black women. And the ones that are, you got to be dang near old perfect just to get their attention or just to get them to roll with you. And it's like, so we just gotta we can't have any flaws. We have to be perfect. You don't went over here to this chick that is not black, that all she has to do is just not be black. And that's good. She doesn't have to, she could have all the flaws in the world. She good. But sister girl, she gotta have this, she gotta have that, she gotta do this, she gotta do that. And you still might, if we really lucky, give her a chance. So you being selective, you being let me just delete her for this and that. But you want her, that same one, to stick around. And it's always all this Captain Save when it comes to black women to black men. That's the part that gets on my nerves. Why do we gotta save y'all all the time? But y'all don't save us. A lot of times we be on our own as far as like standing up for ourselves. Y'all not capable for us. As I'm talking about as a whole across the board. But make sure you stick in there with that black man. We no, man, them days is over. And if that exposes us, so be it. Because here's the thing. This was irrelevant to the point. Some guy said, he said, on God, I'm single, right? And he also said, oh, you lonely. First of all, it's irrelevant to the point because what I'm saying is still valid, whether I'm in a relationship or not. That ain't none of your business. But just saying, oh, she ain't got a man. These type of women, they get they pass up on dudes like this, and then they be lonely later. Here's the thing with that. If that's the case, then so be it. Because especially reading all these responses, looking at all these dudes caping for these other dudes, a lot of these comments seem to be like it's two communities that's out here right now. It's these um that I don't like. It's other communities, but just these two is the ones that I'm speaking about. But it's the beta men and it's these men going their own way. And the part that made me laugh too was that under the comments that I said, it was so many dudes just coming at me, just like boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna reply this to one chick. You all supposed to be the men, but let me go out here and Captain Save him for this other dude. Let me go out in this life. But chicks, you want people to sit up there and respect you, and you want people to sit up here and ride for you. When this is the behavior that's shown, that you aren't worth anything. If you shouldn't have an opinion, you don't have a right to have an opinion. If you do have an opinion, then you single, you lonely, you ugly, you this, you that, all this whoop-de-whoop stuff. And then I was just, it was unreal. I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, what world do I live in where you don't have a right to your opinion anymore? I really just, a lot of the stuff was funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Had me the best, had me the best laugh all this week. I was like, oh, and they just kept popping up, kept popping up. I was just like, is these dudes still talking? And this last, I ain't gonna say nothing else on this topic because I mean, ain't nobody got no time for this. I'm just saying it because I really felt led to do this. Like, you need to talk about this. This is something that is worth a conversation. And I don't get it twisted. I don't want you to think that I just go off on black men, because the other video that I'm going to put in the description that I also made, and this I made a while back, but this video I was going hard on the women. And the other part is that men have a right to their opinion also. One thing that I do like about Kevin Samuels, he never wavered from his opinion. No matter all the firestorm, all the stuff that came at him, all the heat, he never wavered from what he said. And in this day and age, in this time, it's going to be a lot of people. First of all, you have to know who you are, what you about, what you made of. Because people gonna come at you. Man, and you could be the sweetest thing and people come at you. Recently, I just watched a video of Everybody Loves Her. Well, not everybody, because some people haters. But Miss Tabitha Brown, who's the sweetest, just calm, all that. And then what happened was she said she was able to retire her husband. Now, this also follows, thank you, Jesus. This also follows with my content, because what she said in her response was that she's been with this dude for some years. See, the thing about um, what these guys are trying to get across is you just supposed to have all those privileges allotted to this dude off top. No, you don't. This dude has to prove himself. That's how you be, like the earlier example, that's how you be stuck with a dude for all these years. He ain't wifed you up, and then as soon as he get himself together, he out of there. No. So back to the Tabitha Brown, she has had ups and downs with her husband. They have built together, but they are a solid couple together. Like, you build that bear type of stuff with your husband, with your with your husband. Forget a boyfriend, with your husband. So yes, if he doesn't have his stuff together in the beginning, if he doesn't have his stuff together when he's just a boyfriend, no, kick him to the curb. What is you doing? And no, I don't see anything wrong with that. But back to Tabitha, what I'm saying about people, you could be the nicest person. People gonna have stuff to say regardless. My daddy told me that they gonna talk about you to the day you die. And that's true. People's mouths steadily gonna be rolling. You could not say nothing, people roll. You could say a lot of stuff, people talk. You could be ugly, they talk. You could be pretty, they talk. You could be short, they talk. Tall, they talk. Fat, you talk. They talk. Skinny, young, old, it don't matter. People gonna talk about you till the day you die. And people gonna have something to say about whether you turn to the left or whether you turn to the right, whether you went straight, whether you went back. They gonna have something to say regardless. So you just gotta get used to it. You gotta know how to handle it and you gotta be cool with it. And I'm cool with it because if you know who you are and if you are okay with what you believe, then what people talking about, and then also you can't listen all the time to what people say because first of all, people respond so quickly. Man, they won't even remember what they said or how they felt 10 years from now, and then they'll have a total different opinion 10 years from now. So I ain't listening to you. Man, get up out of here. But back to Tabitha. I'm gonna finish my point with Tabitha. Um, she was on the well, Wendy Williams put her video on her show because she was pretty much jealous and hating that Miss Tabitha Brown had a husband that she was able to help him retire because what she said in the video, she um no, he took a job in the police force while she was not working. I guess she wasn't working, but she was still trying to get herself known in the entertainment industry. So 15 long years he worked as a policeman in a job I'm sure that he hated. Even if he didn't hate it, a job that wasn't his dream, but for the greater good because as a married couple, they're a team, not no boyfriend girlfriend stuff. Married as a married couple, that's what you do. You're a team as a married couple, husband and wife. Um, so he did that for her. So and she said they had an agreement, and so once she got on, she's able to retire him now, and he's able to do live out his dreams. So Miss Wendy's point was that uh you can't do that because I did that and then he left me for somebody else. Well, that's you. Everybody's story is not the same. And then, so, Tabitha clapped back in the most classy, graceful way. It was amazing. Grown woman style. It was beautiful. It was, Miss Tabitha, you did that. But I read on somebody's comment, yeah, Tabitha, I applaud you, but you, you put too much of your business out there. That's what I'm saying. People always talking, running that mouth. That's why, in the word it says about, um, goodness, I can't remember the scripture right now. It's a few different scriptures about taming the tongue, but also you're going to have to give an account for every word that you say. So be careful of the words that you speak. But no, people ain't thinking about that. They just, let me just go ahead and get this one off. Not not worrying about the consequences and the firestorms and all that other stuff that that it will set off. And for myself, the reason I don't feel bad about my comments was because that was all my truth. I didn't disrespect anybody. I never went outside anybody's I never called anybody outside of their name. I never even said anything about any of those gentlemen personally. Everything was just the facts. Like for one, I said cold world. But it's serious. It's like, come on, you guys are men. And what I mean by that is like, first of all, ain't nobody come to save you, bro. Second, that's life. You know, I used to hate that term years ago. I could not stand that. That's life. It is what it is. I could not stand those with a passion. But now I understand exactly what it means, and it explains exactly what it means. That's life. Another thing 2020 should have taught us. Stuff happens. You got to get over it. You got to keep it moving, keep it pushing. You can't be sitting up here crying because this chick right here that you possibly want done rejected you. Okay, live life to the full, baby. It's other fish in the sea. Go get them. Live life. But no, it's just the mere fact of she rejected me. You gotta dust yourself off and keep going and not crying and bitching and moaning over all of this stuff that you, one, don't have any control over, and two, that is small stuff. It's peanuts. Move on to the next thing. You know, you're gonna waste a lot of time in life going in these circles over stuff that don't even matter like that. You know what I mean? Who cares what this one woman decides she wants to do? Um, I think I covered everything. I'm just making sure there's nothing else. Bless me. Thank you. Um, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. So, it has been interesting. Whew, 30 minutes already. So, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I hope that helps somebody out there. I hope I addressed everything that you needed to know. If not, we're gonna move on and keep it moving. Cause I sure enough am is. I ain't worried about this. I ain't lose a wink of sleep. I've been living life. It's been busy. Here go a side note, a message. You have to be prepared for what you ask for. Because when I say I done been busy lately, I'm like, woof, I didn't ask for a lot because I can't even get some of the stuff done because I'm like, oh my goodness, I mean, it's just I'm so busy right now, but it's all good. I'm glad, and I get to every now and again. This thank you. Shout out to the folks. I'm gonna put that under the comments, but shout out to the folks that inspired this video because I haven't done a video in a minute and I needed some content. So thank you. You know, I appreciate you. Good looking, and you guys have a good night, good morning, whatever. All right, I'm out.